I mean, you've said this over and over and over again, almost to the point where it's like, how do people not know? Your biggest thing is bonded liquidity to TitanX.
Exactly. Yeah, because otherwise users have to sell down TitanX to get into your thing. They have to sell TitanX for Ethereum, so dump down the price to go into your thing. Your thing is a representation of TitanX, so as users dump down the price, you dump down your price because it's psychologically linked. So it's kind of like you're shooting yourself in the foot and pretending it's a good thing. So I don't need that foot anyway. It's like, no, just keep the foot good, make it a TitanX pool, and you're great. Anything that increases your ratio against TitanX makes you outperform TitanX by default, because it's your only pool.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another exciting episode of Crypto Awesome, where crypto is simplified and awesomeness is amplified. My name's Dave, and today we are going to be talking about one of the most amazing projects, my favorite, TitanX, right now. And actually, today we're going to be getting a lot of alpha, because what I did is I went through both Jake's video with Crypto Kindness and Jake's video with Smoothing Crypto, and I pulled out some clips that I think are going to be really important to bring all together, and I'm going to comment on them with you guys. But this is about, basically this whole episode is going to be about how to build on TitanX. Like, what are the best practices for building on TitanX? And anyways, I'm really excited to get into this episode. I want to say thank you so much for following me on Twitter or on X. You guys are amazing. We already have 138 followers right now. Things are just blowing up. I'm super excited. And over here on YouTube, we have 2.04 thousand subscribers now. What is that? 2,040? But this is growing, guys. We're over 2,000 subscribers here on YouTube. You guys are giving me some amazing comments, and just appreciate all of the views and all the interaction that you guys are doing here. So anyways, thank you so much. If you have not subscribed, give me a subscribe and hit the like button on this episode. And let's get right into TitanX here. Just do a quick update. We are on day 95, and actually the price is, it's doing nice things right now. So it's staying nice and steady after a bottom. So maybe we hit the bottom, maybe not. But right now we're at day 95 of TitanX. So you're still early. If you want to get into TitanX, it's time. You might as well just do it right now. Not financial advice. This could go to zero, and this is just a very experimental and risky project. It's on day 95, but you know what? There's a whole bunch of support behind this project. And let me just show you the stats here real quick. Stats. We are almost at 20% liquid. That means people are holding $9 million worth of ETH of TitanX, which is a lot. 8.7 trillion TitanX right now, liquid. Staked, 43% of the entire ecosystem is staked right now, guys. That is $20 million worth of ETH, USD worth of ETH in the value of TitanX that's staked right now. And let's see, this is, what's this one? This is buy and burn. Look at the buy and burn, man. It is 35%. And then there's a new one here, BOT protocols. The BOT protocols are the total number of liquid TitanX that's semi-locked inside of the build on TitanX or the TitanX / protocol liquidity pools. So that's what we're going to be getting into today, is this green area. This is going to be best practices for building on TitanX. Now, if you were to start a miner right now, on a full max length miner, it would cost you 0.2156 ETH, which is about $504 right now because ETH just went up a little bit. That would earn you less than 1.2 billion right now, but you would still make almost 1.2 billion TitanX. It goes down every day, and this goes up every day. Right now, that's a 156% return, which is a 2.5x. So 100% return would be a 2x. So 150 is a 2.5x. And now that's if the prices of TitanX stayed where they are right now. So if the price of TitanX, 10x's, this is going to 10x too. So also if the price of ETH goes up, since this is bonded, and we're going to be talking about that, the bonded liquidity with TitanX, this TitanX is bonded with ETH. So TitanX is a leverage play on ETH, and these other protocols are a leverage play on TitanX. So I'm just going to jump into this first clip here, and I want to show you this first clip, and then we're going to talk about it.
in your shoes, what do you do today? If you're average Joe in the chats here, that's
Mine.
okay. Why don't
Yeah.
you think about it for a minute?
Mine 100%. Mining is the number one entry point into the TitanX ecosystem. So create a bunch of miners, and then you can take percentage of your miners to participate in these protocols. So for example, if you get 10 billion TitanX out of your miners, well then you take 2 billion, you participate in this protocol. You take 2 billion, you participate in this, but the percentage you take profit, you recompound with the percentage, but that's kind of how you have to allocate. So mining is the number one way to enter the ecosystem. Another way to enter the ecosystem is to, and obviously not financial advice, going to zero, we're looking at if this works. Just hypothetically, you could buy on market and go instantly into a protocol that has a cap supply, like DragonX.
And just keep in mind, I mean, obviously he had that disclaimer in there, and I'm going to have that same disclaimer. This is not financial advice, but what he's saying is really interesting. This is how you get into TitanX, right? And I'm going to do a whole video on actually how to get into TitanX, but what he's saying is if you want to get into TitanX, there's a lot of different game theory behind it, but the best way to do it right now is to mine. And I'm going to show you why, and I've showed this in other videos. All right, so if we do a max miner right now, it's going to cost 0.2156 ETH. So if we come over here to the tools, buy TitanX, we're going to go 0.2156, and that's going to get us 463 million TitanX. Okay, and that's $500 worth of ETH. But if you mine for 280 days, so 280 days from now is less than a year. So it'd be the end of the year when you'd be done mining, but that same amount of ETH, you'd be able to mine 1.2 billion. That's basically 3x. So just by mining, you're able to actually get 3x the tokens than if you were to buy. This is what Jake's talking about. That's why it's best just to get into the ecosystem by mining first. That's actually how I started too. I saw the mining potential. I'm like, let's do this. So that's how I got started, was I started mining. So anyways, that's what Jake recommends on if you are new to the ecosystem, how to get your feet wet would be to start some miners. Now, I personally would just do max miners. You can change the timing around, but the max miners will get you the most TitanX. And so I'm right now more the long-term view, which means I'd rather stack more coins. The thing also that they're saying though is we can't use our mines to get into any of these protocols. So this is more after 280 days, you got 1.2 billion. If you do 5 max miners, so let's say we do 5, that's going to be 1 ETH, and we're going to get 6 billion here. So how do you get 10 billion? You'd basically, it's going to be like 9. So if you want to spend 2 ETH, you can basically get 10 billion TitanX at the end of 280 days. And you'd also get T-rank bonuses on top of that. But, that's what he's saying. If you can mine, you want to put, this is 2 ETH worth. That's $4,500 investment. So this is the point. There's just so many ways to play this game. You don't have to go that much in. And if you only have say you only have $100 in ETH, what you would do is you would take your miner power down to 40. That's $200 worth of ETH. So then you could still do that miner right there, but you'd be making 479 million. For $200 will get you 479 million TitanX after 280 days. And 479 million is basically even more than you'd have to spend on a max length miner right now just to get that much. So I don't know if you guys can see that correlation. Anyways, this is why I like mining. The other thing I want to run by you actually before we jump into the rest of these, I just did this post because I want people to understand why I have a long-term view on TitanX. So max mining day 1, and I've gone through the white paper with you guys, so just go ahead and go to the white paper on TitanX. You can get there by going to app and then tools, where is it? Maybe the white paper's at the bottom. Light paper docs, yep, right here. Let me get back here. Max mining on day 1. Day 1, we could mine 8 million TitanX for 0.21 ETH. But it's going down every single day, and the price of ETH is going up. In 2,000 days, which is a little over 7 years, the max mining on day 2,000, it's going to cost 1 ETH, not 0.21 ETH. It's going to cost 1 ETH, and you're only going to be able to mine 800 TitanX per day instead of 8 million per day right now. Do you see the difference in that? So basically, right now we can mine 8 million TitanX. Not now, it's a little less than 8 million because we're 93 days in. But at day one, you could mine 8 million per day for 0.21 ETH. In 2,000 days, it's going to cost, ETH is going to go up to 1, and max mining per day is going to go down to 800. So a 280-day max miner at 800 TitanX per day is 224,000 total TitanX for 1 ETH. So after this system is 2,000 days old, seven years in, 1 ETH is going to be able to mine 224,000 TitanX over 280 days. You guys can see that. So this is not even factoring in yet the price of ETH. So say ETH in 7 years, these are conservative in my opinion. So if ETH is 10,000 by then, $10,000, 1 ETH, $10,000, would mine you 224,000 TitanX. Then that makes it, that would cost 4 cents per TitanX to max mine. If ETH is at 30K, it would cost 12 cents per TitanX to max mine. So what does this mean for the TitanX price in 7 years? I can't say. I can't say if the price of TitanX is going to equal the cost it takes to buy it. But I also wouldn't be surprised if that was the case. If the cost of TitanX equals the value of TitanX, then what if that's the value of TitanX now? If we get 12 cents, and if ETH goes up to like 100K, well, 100K would basically be 40 cents. Dude, I mean, a 4 cent TitanX is crazy. If we can accumulate 10 billion tokens right now for $4,500, and then in 7 years, $4,500 can be worth 10 billion times 4 cents, I think that's like $40 million or something stupid. And this would be $120 million or something stupid. And then 100 grand would be, I don't know, $1 billion or something stupid. So anyways, these numbers don't even make sense in my head, but this is the math. This is the math of the project. So that's why I'm really excited about this project for the long term. Not for these short little up and down spikes, selling it here, selling it there. Here's the other, this is also why I'm excited to get into all the other protocols, like DragonX and Helios and TitanX Market and KingX and Titans of Battle and Titan Legends. Maybe there's so many, guys. If I leave you out, I'm sorry. Pyro Protocol, we got Titan Fire. You got to go ahead and read the white papers on your own, guys, and make your own decisions here. It's not financial advice. I love all of these tokens being built on the platform. It allows me to be able to spread my investment out to ecosystem tokens, because all these other ecosystem tokens are literally going to be leverage plays on TitanX. So TitanX is a leverage play on ETH, and all of these are leverage plays on TitanX, which I think it's going to blow our minds, guys. Now, it could go to zero, and I could be totally way off, but I think it's going to be amazing. Let's watch this clip here from Jake Sharp and Smooth and Crypto.
And it's unfortunate, right? Like, I would have loved to buy stocks in the 1930s, but I wasn't alive then. You know what I mean? So it's all timing, and nonetheless, if the code does what it does, then it's going to be awesome. And we have a fair launch. Code has been running exactly how it was planned to run from the beginning, and I'm just interested to see more projects being built. And, these white papers are looking good, and some of them really...
And real quick, I'm going to keep going with this, but I want to talk about fair launch. Smooth and Crypto just mentioned fair launch. So don't let me forget that.
We do take the community discretion very seriously, and they really rework what they're like. All right, if the community doesn't like the white paper, they're definitely not going to like the project, right? And what's one thing, if you could give kind of a general thing to people building on top of TitanX, like what is a good thing to have, or general idea of the white paper and project, just to benefit them and TitanX?
Some form of buy and burn, some form of token lock and mechanics, like staking. And you could do this to a tertiary protocol, so it doesn't have to be inside of the actual code. So buy and burn, TitanX is the main liquidity pool. TitanX paired with your pool, that's the main liquidity pool. Ideally, it's a decentralized pool created by your smart contract. You can see how this is done through the TitanX smart contract and DragonX smart contract. That you don't need to trial and error your way through that. You can just kind of use code and then implement it in your project. Having a TitanX liquidity pool is big. Having a buy and burn is big. If you use Ethereum, the Ethereum has to buy TitanX on market and swap for your protocol and burn your token, because then you get the double burn effect. You get TitanX price going up. So if TitanX goes up 5x, and you're paired to it at 5%, and you're paired to it, you also go up 5%, and then you buy your own token, so you increase the ratio, so you basically go up 10%, and then you burn your token. So you get the double buy effect, which is very big, which is why the protocol pools are an absolute must. So buy and burn, some token lock mechanic, interesting supplies, either deflationary, so cap supply deflationary, or disinflationary into the future. I would recommend going faster deflationary than TitanX, because TitanX is built to be the foundation and people build upon it, so it needs to have slow inflation and slow deflation. Well, it is still relatively fast, but slow deflation. But if you're building a protocol, you can go for fast deflation, because it's a lot more engaging. And since TitanX is so volatile, you'll have plenty of volatility. The upside on that.
Yeah.
So there's really three different kind of factors that really are important about building on top of TitanX, what Jake is saying. Number one is a bonded liquidity pool, and we're going to get deeper into that here in a second with Crypto Kindness. Basically, TitanX in your pool with the new token. Some kind of a way to lock TitanX up off the market, if it's a staking mechanism or something like that. And some kind of a buy and burn mechanic. So those are three things that Jake really likes. So if you want to build on TitanX and you want to have any kind of Jake's support, those are the things that you're going to be needing. Let's move on here.
The Genesis wallet has supported DragonX. Question being, will it continue to support other protocols? And if so, what are kind of the metrics by which those protocols have to hit in order to be supported?
Yeah, it's TitanX protocol pool, so your main pool, or ideally only pool, should be TitanX. The other one is ideally it's some kind of buy and burn, where it supports the protocol going into the future. If it's a one-time event, it's less impactful. So if Genesis makes a move, it needs to be long-term impactful for like years to come. But TitanX protocol pools is the biggest thing. I'm a big fan of buy and burns. So if something has a buy and burn, it's really good. Because Genesis is designed to be a benevolent will for the entire ecosystem. And if a project that has good intentions, great tokenomics, gets attacked by a malicious well, well, there will be a dragon waiting in the corner to fix it. So anything that tries to maliciously attack protocols within the TitanX ecosystem, if it's a good protocol and it has good intentions for the entire ecosystem and it's a long-term focused thing, Genesis will be on the other side fighting for it. Which is kind of the core design intention for Genesis, because if you leave everything up to the community will never be able to lose money to say something. Genesis doesn't care. As you saw with DragonX, it sent to the DragonX vault, which means it did not mint any DragonX tokens, which means the backing for DragonX is for every one DragonX, there's two TitanX. That's some alpha right there. For anybody that understands, oh man, backing ratio is pretty big. So it's sent directly to the DragonX vault, which has no dev fee and stuff, and it didn't mint any DragonX. That's big, and it basically just turned the TitanX into a perpetual buyer of the ecosystem. By it getting staked, and then the buy pressure from the staking payouts goes directly back into TitanX.
Mm-hmm.
So that's big. So if you're building a smart contract that uses TitanX to buy and burn, it's a really good idea to make it so that anything can send TitanX to that smart contract without a dev fee, ideally. On that smart contract specifically. If people interact with your protocol, like take a dev fee, that is totally fine. But you also want to make your smart contracts in a way where it accepts TitanX tokens from anywhere. So if a whale or somebody else just wants to send TitanX directly to the buy and burn as like a proof of good behavior, they can.
So, all right, there was a lot in that, but he's basically saying the same thing. So he's right now. This was a little bit of an addition to what he had said before, but the same thing: bonded liquidity with TitanX, some kind of a buy and burn, and some kind of a locking mechanism for TitanX. So those are the things. Like if Genesis will support other protocols being built, those are the things. Those are the factors, guys. Those are the really important factors. So let's just keep moving forward here.
A true opinion, because a lot of people are really just trying to like either get money from you to build it or get an idea or just kind of yanking your chain for like, hey, I'm building this, and it's like, but are you really? You know, like,
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. Yeah, you know, like back in the day, I used to have a lot of friends like, oh, I'm going to become a business owner or an entrepreneur, and like maybe one of them is actually an entrepreneur now.
Yep.
So our ideas are cheap. I like the people that are like, hey, here's my idea for the protocol. We started building it. It's inspired by this. These are the tokenomics. Do you have feedback? That is great. But if it's like, hey, I have this idea, can I pick your brain? Well, then if I hop on a call and you don't build it, it's a waste of everybody's time. So like, you have to come with a valid idea, and a white paper, and a general idea, and you have to have started building it. Maybe have like a mock-up of the website on, like actual effort put in. Then hell yeah, and also like post it on Twitter. Like the community will have some great ideas.
Yeah. So if you're going to be building on TitanX, and I actually did make this mistake, so I'm really glad that Jake is spelling this out. And thank you so much, Smooth and Crypto, for helping Jake to clarify this, because really, guys, we need to be action takers. Like if we want to build our protocol, you know, we need to actually be the ones to take all of the actions and move it forward. Which means we need to create the idea of it. We need to, like Jake was saying, build the white paper so it's very clear. We need to possibly have a full mock-up of the website up, whether or not it's fully coded yet or not. And then start start talking about it on Twitter, build its own Twitter page, build a Telegram, and start talking about it. Okay. And so, I put together my white paper, but before I'm not even ready with it yet. And so now I'm kind of, basically I sent a message to Jake because I kind of wanted to talk to him about the project, but now I can see the folly in that, and not that there's folly in that necessarily, but the whole point is he's too busy to respond to an idea. He's only going to respond, like he said, if you come to him and say, hey, here's my project. I'm already moving forward on it. This is where I'm at. I got a white paper. I got this. Can you please take a look at my tokenomics and let me know if I can level them up at all? Basically, that's an easier ask. I mean, you're still asking him to take a look at your project and help you out, but it's already moving forward. So he doesn't want to get his time wasted, and I don't think anybody wants to get their time wasted. So anyways, guys, I think this is a really great video so far of if you want to build on TitanX, these are the best practices. And we got a few more select clips to go through with you. So stay tuned because some of the best stuff is here at the end. But I'm going to move on to the next clip here. And this clip is if you want to build on TitanX, but do it on a different chain, like Solana or Pulsar or whatever.
The general idea is really good. But for example, they want to have a wrapped Ethereum Pulsar pool on Ethereum, which I'm not a fan of at all because they become detached. I hate that.
So, see, he says he hates that, guys. A wrapped Ethereum pool to TitanX. You can't do any other wrapped Ethereum pools to TitanX because it disconnects us from the ecosystem. If we're going to do anything, we have to have a TitanX/protocol. If we have a TitanX pool with our protocol token, that's going to benefit the whole ecosystem. If we have a wrapped ETH and our protocol token on TitanX, that's not going to work. And he's going to tell you why.
Yeah, I hate it. I would approach this with caution because if it has a wrapped Ethereum pool as its main liquidity pool, and okay, I'll explain why it's a bad idea because of how the tokenomics work, but they haven't put their tokenomics out there, so I don't want to do it for them.
Sure.
As of now, I'm not a fan. If they tweak it, I'm a fan.
Okay, interesting. And really the only thing that, I mean, you've said this over and over and over again, almost to the point where it's like, how do people not know? Your biggest thing is bonded liquidity to TitanX.
Exactly. Yeah, because otherwise users have to sell down TitanX to get into your thing. They have to sell TitanX for Ethereum to dump down the price to go into your thing. Your thing is a representation of TitanX, so as users dump down the price, you dump down your price because it's psychologically linked. So it's kind of like you're shooting yourself in the foot and pretending it's a good thing. So I don't need that foot anyway. It's like, no, just keep the foot good, make it a TitanX pool, and you're great. Yeah.
See, it's fairly simple. I mean, really, it's fairly simple, guys. That's what I like about what Jake's saying here. We're not talking about rocket science. We're actually talking about how to increase the value of the TitanX ecosystem, and in the meantime, also increase the value of each one of the ecosystem tokens. And if we detach from the ecosystem without using a TitanX / protocol pool, then it's just not going to be good for anyone. Not good for the ecosystem, not good for the project. And Jake, the founder of TitanX, is not going to support it.
The question then comes to the bonded liquidity pools. Is there any plans for Genesis that you know of from the entity to create more liquidity pools in the future to leverage the idea behind bonded liquidity?
Yeah, and there might be a platform.
Oh.
Now there's some alpha, y'all. There is the alpha right there. But anyways, so there's looking like there possibly will be a protocol built to help create bonded liquidity pools. Don't know what that means yet, but it sounds pretty cool.
Right. Another thing people could do is, if you really like Solana, you can find a way to wrap TitanX to Solana and build a protocol on Solana that uses wrap TitanX from Ethereum. And then you get the best world.
Boom. Did you hear that? Okay, so see, that's an example. If you want to build on Solana, you would take TitanX and you would wrap TitanX in a wrapping, whatever, wrap TitanX, and you would bring that over to Solana, and that would be your liquidity. Because we're actually still wrapping the actual TitanX. We're not pairing it with ETH to change over on the bridge. So anyways, there is a way to use TitanX on other platforms as well.
Yeah.
The builders can do whatever they want.
So very cool.
So that becomes another question. If TitanX starts to perform, does it hurt the things that are being built on TitanX?
Well, actually, no, because it has the TitanX pool. So if TitanX is a 10x, they by default do a 10x. Because it's the only pool. So if TitanX, because it's the nominated TitanX value, if TitanX is a 10x, they do a 10x. Without any bias on that protocol.
Yeah.
Which is kind of crazy to think about, which is why something like DragonX could be kind of crazy. And there's other protocols that do a buy and burn. Anything that increases your ratio against TitanX makes you outperform TitanX by default. Because it's your only pool.
So, guys, I this does just blow in my mind. It's just making me just think so deeply about this stuff. It's just amazing. So what he's saying here is, if you have a buy and burn built into your protocol and your main liquidity pool is TitanX / your protocol token, so let's just call it AwesomeX, TitanX and AwesomeX in an LP pool. If there's a burn protocol on AwesomeX and it decreases the amount of AwesomeX in the pool, and the TitanX becomes more prevalent, like a 2-to-1 prevalency in your LP pool, then your token is more scarce than TitanX at that moment, which basically means if TitanX does a 10x, your coin could do possibly a 20x. So there's just this liquidity pool stuff is amazing, guys. One more clip.
How are you going to stay focused with everything that's coming out? And if you make a suggestion, what suggestion do you make for those that want to chase everything?
In TitanX, it kind of makes sense to focus on the protocols because everything links back to TitanX. So if it has good tokenomics and it has TitanX as its main liquidity pool, it's a buy and burn, it is from the TitanX ecosystem and doesn't create that detached ecosystem. Anything you participate in on top of TitanX is basically just a way to increase your TitanX backs. So for example, on Ethereum, if a dApp launches on Ethereum, people participate in it because they believe it outperformed Ethereum so they can get more Ethereum. This same thing exists on TitanX, and it's a lot more direct because it's directly built on it. It uses TitanX to create itself, has a TitanX liquidity pool. So it's basically a play to increase your position in the TitanX ecosystem without having to recompound into miners, because at some point that game will stop. That's kind of how I look at it. So you're still focused if you focus on the protocols, because all of it is kind of like TitanX with a mask on. Still TitanX.
Still TitanX. It's like a Scooby-Doo episode.
So there it is, guys. There's the alpha for today. You guys are amazing. I hope you got a lot of good benefit out of this. If you guys are going to build on TitanX, let me know your questions in the comments below. Give this video a like. We're on day 95 of TitanX right now. So again, thanks so much for subscribing to me on YouTube, checking me out on Twitter or X. And until next time, my name's Dave. Crypto Awesome out.